Hello friends! 2020 is coming to an end and I've been getting my bag ready for the 2021 season and I wanted to let you know what was in it. First I used the Fancy Buzz Grip BX bag. I love this bag. It holds everything I need, probably more. I could probably do with a few less items, but this bag is great. Holds everything I need. To start out with, I have been putting with these Jawbreaker APXs for about 2 years, I want to say, and they're really nice, easy to throw putter. They're really glidey, really straight. I really have loved using these putters, but I feel like after 2 years I might be ready to make a change. So this year I might be throwing the Challenger SS's. They have a really good hand feel. I like how round the rim is. They kind of come out pretty smooth in the hand, so I've been working on these. These might be going in the bag this next year. One of my throwing putters is the Pro D Ringer. It's a really solid, stable putter. It's not overstable, but it's just stable enough to be able to throw with a little bit of force on it and have it go really straight. And I like the nice shallow rim of it, the nice shallow profile. It fits in my hand really well for forehands or backhands. So it's just my shorter distance throwing putter. The other putters that I throw are the Z-Flex Ringer GT. A nice, slow, overstable approach putter. I throw this disc a lot, and it's because it just has very small margin for error. It's not going to catch a glide and go long. It's really controllable. I like to throw it on a backhand on like a baby flex, and it'll just kind of pan out at the basket and give it a little run forehand, pop it with a little flex on it, and it'll just kind of die at the basket. I love this disc. If you don't throw a Ringer GT, you should. The next putter that I throw is the Zone. I currently have an ESP Zone in my bag. A lot of people love the Zone. I think there's some people who are better disc golfers than me right now making the Zone pretty popular, so you probably know about the Zone. It is a great overstable putter. Just like the Ringer, it's a nice low profile disc, so it fits really well in the hand for a forehand for me, and a good reliable overstable finish, so the Zone is money. My mid-ranges that I bag are a Jawbreaker Buzz. The Jawbreaker Buzz is a really easy thrower. It definitely does not fly like the Z Buzz. It's a little bit more of an in-between a putter and a mid-range in my opinion, mostly because of the plastic probably, but it's a good scramble disc. It follows whatever angle you put it on. Again, a nice low profile. I like that for a lot of my discs, just so they fit in my hand nicely. So Jawbreaker Buzz. Next I bag the Meteor. The Z Meteor I don't use a lot now that I'm playing in Southern California. The courses are a little bit more wide open than when I was living in Mississippi. So I don't need to shape shots like I used to. But this disc is not going to leave my bag because it's a great understable putter. Flips up to flat really nicely. I like to throw it on tight lines when I really need to shape a shot. So this disc isn't leaving my bag. Next I have a Z Buzz. I think everybody is familiar with the Z Buzz. Good, solid, stable, mid-range disc. I can throw this one on touchy finesse shots. I can throw it hard for distance. The Buzz is just a great all-around, stable, straight throwing mid-range. Next is the Buzz OS. I switched from the Z-Flex to the Titanium this year. I like that this one has a little bit more glide to it, even though it's not a... The Buzz OS does not have a lot of glide, but the Z-Flex has even less glide than the Titanium. So I switched to the Titanium to get a little bit longer of a overstable finish than the Z-Flex was giving me, and I've been using this disc a lot. It's great for forehand approach shots that need to be a little bit longer than my Ringer GT up shots. So overstable Buzz, money. So for my fairway drivers, This Stalker, I think, is one of my first Discraft discs I ever got when I started throwing Discraft, and it has not left my bag. I've been trying to break in a new one, but I just keep putting this one back in my bag. The Stalker is a great, stable, straight flying fairway driver. It's just really solid. There's not much to say about it. It's easy to throw, goes straight. You can flex it, it'll just pan out. You can throw it on a hyzer, it'll do whatever you need. Great disc. A disc I've been throwing a lot this year is the Raptor. I throw it in the Big Z just because I think it's nice. I don't know. I think they all fly pretty similarly. It's a very overstable fairway driver. I forehand this one a lot. I use this a lot for distance control shots. If I'm on a golf course and I want to make sure that my tee shot doesn't go too long and end up on a green or in a bunker, I know I can throw this and it's not going to go too long. I can throw this with quite a lot of force. I can throw it with a lot of flex, and it'll always come back and finish on more of a hyzer angle so that it's not going forward, it's going across. So I use this disc a lot. Next, I have a heat in my bag right now. This is not the heat I normally bag, but I put it in there because I wanted to give it a try. It's a little bit more domey than my other heat, but the heat is a great, understable, easy to throw fairway driver. I can throw it flat and hard and it'll just finish to the right. I can throw it on a flip up and have a nice long panning hyzer that just flips up to straight and holds and then just finishes with getting some decent distance on it. So the heat is a great disc for beginners to get distance with. It's an easy thrower, good, understable fairway driver. I just put this Vulture in my bag. I swapped out my Undertaker for a Vulture just to mix things up. Vulture is, I don't know, I almost want to say it's like a longer stalker, but not quite a distance driver. So it's kind of an in-between. I like to use it for shots that I just need to go a little farther than my stalker, but that I don't need maximum power with, but still an easy thrower with a good, reliable finish. So, Vulture. The next, I bag two Punishers. I love the Punisher. The Punisher, I don't hear a lot of people throwing it or talking about it, and I don't know why, because it's my favorite. I throw it in the Big Z plastic and in the Z Flex plastic. So the Big Z is very beat in, and to me the Big Z plastic tends to have a little bit more glide than the other plastics. So I throw this one as a little bit easier thrower than this one. To me, it's a pretty overstable disc. It's going to reliably fade at the end of the flight. But I would throw the Big Z if I wanted a little bit more distance and a little bit easier throw, like a little straighter of a line without having to put too much flex on it. And I would use the Z Flex if I wanted something to really kind of bite off at the end a little bit more, and not quite get as much distance, but yet not skip away. So that's when I would use this one over this one. I forehand these a lot. I really like just the amount of force I have to put on them to get them to perform for me. Like, this is a good speed for me. So the Punisher is great. If you haven't thrown one, you should. Distance drivers. I have a Big Z Thrasher. This is my most understable distance driver that I bag. This would be a backhand flip up to straight to possibly a little turn out of it depending on what angle I release it on, and a nice straight finish. Or I can throw this one on a turnover shot if I need to pan around a corner and I don't want it to come back at the end. This is the one I'm going to throw. Easy distance on it, wouldn't throw it in a headwind, but it's a great tailwind disc or turnover shot disc. Next is the Crank SS. This one goes in and out of my bag, and I don't know why, because every time I do field work, the Crank SS's are my longest throwing disc. So I don't know why I ever end up taking it out of my bag to put other things in, but the Crank SS has a lot of high speed turn, but I feel like the difference between this and the Thrasher to me is this will come back more reliably. It's like it's a faster version of the Thrasher. They're both going to get that high speed turn, But once this one's done turning, it is going to fight back, which is what's going to give me the distance at the end, I feel like, because I'm not worried about it just dumping over to the right and not coming back. This one's going to come back. So yeah, for me, this is my longest throwing disc. Lots of good high-speed turn, but still, it'll come back for me at the end. I am bagging a Zeus. This is something that, for me, I need to kind of force over on an Anheuser line out of the hand, and it's reliable in the wind for me. It probably rivals my Crank SS for distance, but this one I have to throw on more of a force over turn and kind of flex it out there and let it get its full flight, whereas the Crank SS I can throw flatter and it'll kind of take the same line. So it just kind of depends. I'd throw this one more in the wind if I was looking for distance, but this is a great disc. I do throw it often, but it requires more effort for me to get this one to go as far as the Crank SS. So I don't throw it as often just because I gotta save my arm, getting a little older. Alright, I also then bag the Big Z Nuke. This is a pretty overstable disc for me. I like to forehand this one or use it for headwind shots or as a distance limiting distance driver, something I can really crush hard. I know I'm not going to get my max distance out of it in case I'm worried about the potential of going a little long off the tee and finding some danger. I can forehand this one really well because of the overstability of it and really crank on it hard and know it's going to fight back at the end. I probably can't throw this one as far as the Zeus or the Crank SS, but it still goes far, but not as far. So that is everything. In terms of weights, I know somebody asked about that before. My distance drivers are probably all in the mid 160s, like 164 to 166. I don't know, 167 to 169. So I keep my distance drivers are probably my lightest discs in my bag. They can be mid 160s to high 160s. My fairway drivers I'll throw in about the same range, but I can throw them a little bit heavier. And then once I get down to mid ranges and putters, I throw all those pretty much at max weight, like 175. Just for more, feels more controlled to have a heavier disc in your hand. But for the distance drivers, I like to have them just a little bit lighter, not crazy light, but just a little bit lighter. Well, that is what I'm starting 2021 with in my bag. I'm excited to be with Discraft for another year. I'm glad that they're willing to take me back, and I'm looking forward to it. So let's hope 2021 has a lot more tournaments in it than 2020. I hope everybody had a good year.